I have a story to tell. It's a powerful story. It's motivating, and most of all, I hope it inspires some of you out there who are maybe not so happy with where you're at in life and want to do better, become a better version of yourselves. And no matter where you're at, really, you can always become a better version of yourself. And when you stop doing that, life gets really stale really quickly. So I hope you don't ever stop improving on yourself. But my story, gosh, I started Beachbody coaching 2.5 years ago. At the time, I had no job because it was offshore to India at no fault of my own. I had no income because I had no job. I had no time virtually because I was going to school full time and a half. I did all the things that I was supposed to do. I went to school, I got a job, I worked hard, I was punctual, I got along with everybody that I worked with, even the bosses. And in the end, it did not matter. I've been laid off more than once. My most recent job is the one that was offshore to India for cheap labor, after being promised by the boss that we'd always have a job with them so long as we worked hard and did the things we were supposed to do. But I had the employee mindset. That's what devastated me. It wasn't the economy that led me to devastation. It wasn't the fact that I'd been laid off at no fault of my own and that my job is offshore to India, no fault of my own. None of that is why I was brought to devastation. It was all a result of choices that I made day in and day out to leave myself vulnerable at the mercy of my employer. And when my employer laid me off or shipped my job off to India, I was devastated, and that's entirely my fault. And if you're in a situation like that as well, in America, the land of opportunity, it's the choices that you've made, and they were not the right choices, and you haven't been on the right financial plan. Neither was I. But when I had the employee mindset, I was just like everyone else who has that employee mindset. I was going for the employer-provided benefits, right? We all want those benefits. The employer-provided health insurance and the job security, which is really just a facade. Millions of Americans know that now, the hard way. Typically, when you have the employee mindset, you do all the things you're supposed to do. It's the quick way to the unemployment line or to being laid off or having your job offshored to India for cheap labor. You cannot leave your fate in the hands of your employer. That is mistake number one. You've got to take ownership of your own life if you want to really be happy and not be so vulnerable. But alas, I personally was willing to step outside of the box of average person thinking. And that's the only way you're going to do better than average. If you're fine with average, or if you're already doing better than average, you're happy, you're healthy, you've got a balance of time, money, relationships in your life, then obviously you're making the right decisions. But if you don't have that balance and you're not so happy, it's because of the decisions that you make day in and day out. And you've got to make some changes if you want more in your life. But gosh, when I finally made those changes, I was disgusted. One of my jobs that I lost, the first job that I lost, it was because I had long hair. I was told I had to cut it short or face permanent layoff. It was a union job, so they couldn't fire me, but they could lay me off permanently and not pay me ever again. Well, I took that option. I didn't cut my hair short. Those are my values. It wasn't to have long hair. I love having long hair, but my values were, my core value is freedom. I want to be free. I don't want somebody telling me how much money I can make or how long I'm allowed to have my hair or to tell me when to punch in and out of a time clock every day. And all of that it's a scheme, folks. Jobs, in my opinion, are one big fat scheme sold to us as a legitimate source of income, and I really don't believe that to be the case. If it is for you, that's totally fine. For me personally, no. Especially considering, at the end of the day, to add insult to injury, you're working hard to live paycheck to paycheck only to be rewarded with a layoff. That's not a good plan. But thankfully, like I said, I was willing to think outside of the box of average thinking. I'm pulling myself up out of the financial oblivion. I'm doing so much better than I was 2.5 years ago because I made those decisions and I decided not to put it off. Waiting stinks. If you're waiting for your ship to come in, I'm telling you, it's not coming. It's already here, docked and waiting. You just need to act on it today if there's some things that you need to change that you're not happy about. I'm inviting you to join me. This Beachbody coaching opportunity works. It is so easy for me to talk to you or anybody about it because I see it working in my life and I see it working in so many other people's lives. I wouldn't be inviting you if I didn't think that it could work for you. So I'm hoping that you take me up on this invitation to join me in Team Beachbody Coaching. I hope that you're willing to think outside of the box of average thinking so that you can become more than average and do really good for yourself, your family, and have a balance of all the things that you really care about: time, money, and relationships, so you've got that freedom and can do the things that you really care about, whatever they may be. As for me, I choose to do more fishing, and I certainly choose to help more and more people get in shape because I've got the time and resources to do so now. I love giving back. I'm making enough money, I can do that now. So join me. My website, passionfitness.info. Call me, write me. I will work with you one-on-one. You will not be alone. One reason I made it, one big reason I'm doing really well, is because I was not alone, so you will not be alone. And I hope you take me up on this opportunity if you have the willpower to do the things that most people are not willing to do. Thank you.